So this vicar, pastor, has this magnificent, beautiful garden. And this guy walks up and he's adoring it, admiring it. He looks at the garden and he goes, "Boy, God's best work, huh?" And the vicar looks up to him and says, "You should have seen it when he was in charge." I like that one. Morning, everybody. I'm Tommy. This is Almost Zen TV. And that was a joke. We're going to talk about what that joke means and a little bit of creativity here on Almost Zen TV, The Way of Walking. It's about 8:30 a.m. Saturday morning, July 6, 2024, and it is humid as heck. But we're going to take a walk, so let's walk, let's talk about creativity. That quote, or that joke, I should say, I love it. It kind of proves that, you know, nature and the world, it's all beautiful, you know, but it's like, until we do something with it, you know, it's a worthwhile energy to create or put something into something, to make something. Let's put it there. Be creative. And we're going to look around today on this walk and just see things that people took that was here or not there and then create something with it. Look at this right here. Now, this was just something and it became this nice creation. Art. I think the core of everything is creativity. Because everything we see, it was created. This bus, this traffic cone, nature created those leaves and the grass. I mean, everything. Humans, I think, are here to create. Now, that doesn't mean painting and, you know, but people will automatically think of that word and think, oh, well, I'm not an artist. Well, we all are. There's a book I've been reading, The Creative Act by Ruck Rubin, and he's got some great quotes in there, and you could just, you know, Google those quotes. They're pretty good, or even read the book. There's a great quote. He said, "Look for what you notice, but no one else sees." Let's think on that one for a bit. Now look at here, this little setup of posters. Look at the artwork there. Someone did that artwork. That's their style. They create it. They probably get up in the morning and they're like, they can't wait to create. And then that distinct, unique style of creativity comes out of them. And they put something out there in the universe. And it makes it more beautiful. Now, it's all subjective. Some people are like, I don't like that art style, or I don't like that garden. I would have done something different with the font on that no standing sign. But the act of creating, just the act. I mean, how do we stop to notice that every single thing was created? The world is art. Every single thing is art. Everything. And we should accept it as is. Even the cracks, even, for example, the cracks here in the sidewalk. Boy, it's humid out here today. Where should we go? Where should we go? But how many out there have read that book, The Creative Act by Ruck Rubin. Pretty inspiring. Like I said, he's talked about it in interviews. People were like, well, what about the non-creative person? But it's for everybody. And I say, like I said, everyone's a creator. Everyone. Everybody. You couldn't find something that's a creation. So like I said, we kind of shoehorn or kind of close off the meaning of the word artist or creator into something like in the arts. Nature creates stuff, we make it. Now humans come and then can mold and enhance things that are there or create something from scratch. It's a wonder. Like, do we just stop? Even like nature, like I said, creating the cracks in that sidewalk. Like, do we even stop to notice every little thing? Here's more, look at this. It's just, and it's the way it is. I always talk about that with people who want to like, get plastic surgery or whatever, or fix something, their little tiny dent in their car, or a little crack here, or a little scratch on bedposts, and they got to get rid of the whole bed. Wabi sabi. It's another topic down the road. I'm going to talk about the wabi sabi. The joy in something imperfect, or finding perfection in that, and acceptance and beauty. But that's another video for another time. But let's see, I'm going to try to find a little pathway here where we can, here's creation here. See, someone took these, they were there or they weren't there, they were grown and then turned into that design. Now the people who did it, they're like landscapers, they're artists, they're creators. They're not on TV, or they don't have an art studio, but they're creating. I mean, isn't that enough to call yourself an artist? No, I'm just a guy from Jersey. What do I know? I like that house. I like that design. Guy who created that. So you'll look at a sign, you'll be like, oh, construction crew, or the people that are going to build a house. Someone has that idea. They sketch it out. Draft out a idea of this house with the people who say, oh, I'd like this, the ceiling to go, They might be like, I want that ceiling to cut out up here, the second one to go up here, blah, blah, blah. And they're creating art. Then you have the construction people come there and they're doing their art. They have their own beautiful way of doing it. And I get excited thinking about it. All the little details we miss about every single thing and the creation of it. I love it. And like I said, next time you're out too, when this video ends, go look around and notice, and every single thing stop and think of the genesis of that. There was creation, a creative act that came to pass with it. And then inspire you to just go, hey, I'm coming into the kitchen, pull out some eggs, and I'm going to make an omelet. Or you're going to create an omelet. Same thing. I might use that word. It'll sound too pretentious. What are you doing? Oh, I'm creating an omelet in here. It's like, oh, what a douche. But yeah, maybe don't call it creation. People will be like, oh, boy. People who came up with the idea for the flags of the world, creating those, sitting down and let's get away from these guys. Light rain, very, very light. This new phone I have, not too sure about its waterproof ability. So if it starts to get a little heavier, Might cut it short, but I'll still be doing ones in the rain. Just going to bring an umbrella. Today it didn't look decent enough. I don't feel like carrying that umbrella around. So here we are. Creation everywhere. Here's some more. Another beautiful. You know, this is common. You have your, you know, your creative yards and gardens and whatnot. It's a very common way to look at something as art, but boy, it is everywhere. I'm like fanatical about like going into when I'm in the market or in a Target or dollar store, wherever I'm at, and looking at, oh, look at this thing here. It's another thing. People will also look at art. I said, this, someone could put this in an art plate gallery and someone would love it. You know, like existential rust or whatever they'll call it, and everyone will ponder it forever. But I'll go into these stores and I'll look at the logos or the, you know, design of the toothpaste logo, and I'm like, huh. And I appreciate the creativity, but I'm always like analyzing, going, oh, this could be better. You know, I have this creative itch and artistic itch in me, so I'm always looking beyond that stuff anyway, seeing what's there and thinking how it could be altered. Just notice that about me. Oh, how can I make that font better? Oh, they should put a little less on here, you know? Like, I'm all into the simplistic design of something. So, a good example here, my videos that I make, the thumbnails, the descriptions, a little too busy for me. I'm still trying to find a way to get at what can I take out of this when I'm creating the thumbnails, the wording, to make it only what's necessary there and to make the impact more in line with what it is, which is something kind of a simple, relaxing channel. And I don't want the, you know, random thumbnail of me walking and a tons of stuff behind it. If I can find a way to do that, and that, you know, make that as simple as I could, that's my next creative act, is to do that. This one's been new. People have been building here. Look at this thing, huh? This is a new one that's been built over the last year or so, and they're working on. Wow, this is a beauty. Now there is some creativity at work. I always like to think the mind that when they decided to do that, come up with the idea and every little step of the way to come up with that, and their desire or their passion for a certain type of material or color, and that answers to everything about that house for them. So even the inside's going to have that same creative, hey look, this is why people hire interior decorators, for their creative, you know. I never understood that though, like because you like, I see it a lot. I'll watch these architectural digests and I see they go into these celebrity homes and they're talking about this was designed by this and this painting's from this person, or and then they design this, they put this in here, and I'm thinking these people didn't even, like, you're just in this house that some designer with his, you know, opinion on what would be good, and then they're just gonna live 24/7 in that house. And I think maybe some of them just like saying who did it, and they probably, look, if they picked it themselves out of anything, would they have picked every single thing that that designer picked to put in that house? Probably not. You know, shouldn't they like have a more hands-on approach to it? I don't know. I just thought about that, like, they just okay with that? Like, you're gonna live in that? Like, what if you don't like, so many people, like, you could pick somebody something out for Christmas, get them a gift, and it's a shirt, like, and they're like, I don't know, it's not really my style. But somehow these celebrities with these houses, they're okay with, oh, I love it, this was designed by this guy. And then it's like, well, you like every single way they did that? You're okay. Like, I don't know. What would it look like if they did it themselves? They picked everything out themselves. probably different. And they're flexing that creative muscle. Beautiful iron. Love this fencing. Love the detail. Fencing. I love that. Gray, the little white and gray stone. Love that. I don't know, even though the whole, thinking about this, even though the whole of the world is walking around with phones, filming things, or, you know, I like feel weird like pointing it at someone's house for a couple seconds. Like they think I'm like filming in their window. I don't know why I would think that. I wouldn't think that if someone turns it. Even when it rains, the sun is still ablaze. Those were put up during the hurricane 12 years ago or so. That line reminds me of the song from Bruce Hornsby, Dreamland, duet with Elton John. The line was, clouds in the sky keeping the sun away doesn't mean the sun isn't shining today. Bruce Hornsby, Dreamland. There was a lot of those boards, those with the stars and some quote. And again, how did I just skip right past this? There's your creativity right there. It wasn't enough to just, you know, say those things. They went out and, as a concerted effort in the neighborhood, create those nice things. And each, if you ask 10 people to do one, you get 10 completely different interpretations. Even if you gave them the same colors to work with, the same text to put on it, you'd get 10 different looks. That's a beautiful thing. But it's a good exercise to let's see first where we're going to go. To notice things that no one else sees. It's a little Zen riddle there. And creating too, a lot of people will get a little shy to create, like, oh, you know, somebody's gonna, they're always looking beyond the creation into the dissection or the opinion that will come later from people who, it's not their creation, so it doesn't matter. You, of course, you want people to like it, but that shouldn't decide how you create something. Again, YouTube video is a perfect example. You'll show people, you will see people that will make videos and make sure, let me see, this is what people are going to think about this, so I'm going to do this. But who cares? Like, you can't let that influence it. Your creativity will be stunted. It doesn't matter what they think of it. It matters what you think of it. You want them to like it, but then you're not creating your art. You're creating what they want. And then you're done. And if they start liking it, your creativity shocks. Now you're just going to make what they want. I've seen it with people. I remember I followed this one guy years ago. He did great, unique, creative videos. Then he hit on a couple that were, you know, he did a couple that were like the middle of the road thing. That made him popular. Then that's all he does. And the videos are a dime a dozen on YouTube. And there's no originality to what it is. I don't see him anymore in the videos. I'm like, huh, you're doing the same 6 topic titles with the same crazy expression on your face, holding your head and doing this. Yeah, they want views, but you're not creative anymore. Well, there is creation in that, but it's the originality's gone, and I think that's also important. Like, what would you do if you were ignorant of things and you didn't know what came before you? It would be, your creations would be a lot different. You also decide, let me look at my views for this video. Oh, this one's less. Maybe I shouldn't do that kind of stuff anymore. No. If you love that do that. Like, why would anything else matter? Painters in a room are painting. Sometimes they'll sit there forever. Now, do people do things in 100% from the heart and still want to see what people think? Of course, they want to know what people think of it, and they're going to like, oh, people will think this is nice. That's just the ego. The human ego, which we're also going to talk about in other videos. That's just what it is what it is. Of course. But if we can strip ourselves away, far away from that noise of the critic, even our own critic. Sometimes our own critic is the worst. Like, don't let your own stop you. Don't let your own critic. Like, let me give an example. When I was doing stand-up comedy, they would, how do I word this? People would always say, just write things down. Don't edit yourself. Just write. Don't try to make something perfect or try to make something you think will be this. Sometimes you just write. And then your personal style will come out of that, and your honest voice. I like that. And like, look at this, for example. Now, is there a reason this was red? Well, yeah, probably maybe for sight purposes and everything. But I always like that. The choice now of color in creation. I love that. Why this color? Again, with things out in, public like this, sometimes for towns and streets where there's cars or people coming, a lot of times the color will be the main driving point for safety. But other times it could say a lot more with the color choice. Calm you, soothe you. Can I try to do that with the colors? Try to have softer pastels. I have my logo. It's like a cream orange, creamsicle orange, whatever you want, color you want to call that. I like to go with white, soft blue. So let's create something today, everybody. You over here, yeah, the one right there, the one in the couch, yeah, with the green t-shirt. You first. Let's start with you. Right. Okay. I like that shirt, by the way. Today you're going to create something in the kitchen. Oh, I don't care if you haven't cooked in months. Well, now you're gonna, because you're not cooking anymore. You don't have to worry about it. You're just going to create something. It might make that person sick that you're creating for, but just go make something. Go create something. And when you take the pan out, look at the creation of the pan, how all the little lines and the curves and the feel of it. That someone created that, sat around and said, no, you know what, let's put that here. Let's make that curve. Let's have the lip cut up a little bit more and curl around. All that. Man, that's just as tasty as the meal. All right, now someone else. You over here. Yep. Oh, they weren't paying attention. You, right there you go, right there. The one holding on to the teddy bear. Okay. You today, you're going to create the outline, the draft of a church. No, you're not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to do that. You're going to just draw something. Just draw something. Take out a piece of paper and a pen, a pencil, a color, a crayon, anything. Make something. The first thing that comes in your head, if it takes you 1 minute or 1 hour or a day, just start doing it. And then let me know what you made. And let's see what was in your brain and what you decide to do and how cool it is if you decide to say, someone will come over and say, what's that right there? I never seen you draw or do anything. And you go, oh, that's just something. I was watching this video on the creative act and creativity. And this guy picked me out and said, go create something. And that was it. And it will become so unique and cool. I always like things like you'll can go to like Walmart or Target, and there's the thing, the paintings or the wall art that people buy and put up, and those are fine and dandy, but everybody's got them. I always like those ones where someone makes something and you go, there's never going to be one of these. But I like the idea of the creative process behind this person who decided to do that. But anyway, you with the teddy bear, you're going to do the drawing, and then let me see it. This will be fun. Someone go create a meal. And then look at the egg. If you're making the omelet, look at the egg and the shape and how that was created. Like that shape and how that was that. And how it's just as it should be. It's not wrong, the shape of that. That's how it should be. Whatever you create is not wrong. That's how it should be. Damn, if that ain't a vibe thing. It's as it should be. Oh, guys and gals and everybody in between. Let's ponder that a bit today. But let's also create. Let's be creative with no boundaries, with no thought of, am I an artist? Is this really like, what am I going to create? Everything you do. Everything we see. Creation. 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 Awesome creation. Let's get a couple more. It doesn't stop. Creation. Creation. Now I'm hoping there's like a Croatian person. That would have been good. And I point out, hey, Croatian. Creation. This little bird guy here. Don't fly away. Fly away. There he is. Creation. Creation of the sign, the text, the font style. Everywhere. With no thought. Just create. Well, some of it's thought. Some people are thinking too much. That sign back there might have taken the guy 80 drafts, but it's still creation. And sometimes it also is better to, edit and things after the fact. You want to get, because you're getting it where you want it to be. But the initial moment should be not editing it and not starting it or keep stopping it because of some, down the road fear or something of what what someone's going to be saying about it. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. We're about 28 minutes in. I want to thank you all for joining me here on Almost Zen TV, where it's the way of walking. Enjoy the day wherever you are. Create, inspire, laugh, and all that, So we'll see you next time with another video. I just want to make sure you guys are creating. Please do it. See you next time. What an awkward ending. Goodbye.